Hello and welcome to another edition of Ask Ben W, the video series where I get to tackle exactly one question as I walk from my parked car to my office in Denver Public Schools. Today's question goes something like this: how should we best capture our professional learning? And this comes about as we start to look at the ways in which individual teachers will be attending the Digital Educator and Personalized Learning Academy, and the ways in which they might capture and share their learning. For many years, sort of the default back channel for professional learning events has been Twitter. There have been many various attempts to use a common hashtag across professional learning events, but one of the things that we know is that there is a significantly smaller percentage of attendees that actually make use of our hashtag and the idea of posting things to Twitter or Instagram or Google Plus or wherever we have encouraged people to participate in a back channel conversation, or in taking their notes and sharing the work that is happening within the event. In each one of those situations, it is a much smaller percentage of people that actually take advantage of the opportunity to tweet and to take pictures of their learning and to share that learning with one another. I think it would be generous, even at some place like ISTE, to say that more than even a quarter of the participants are taking full advantage of the social platforms and sort of sharing their learning and capturing it. And so the question then becomes, I'm not saying that we shouldn't do those things, right? It's not that we shouldn't have those social platforms, but how is it that we can encourage teachers and leaders who are in attendance and who want to capture and share their learning, that we give them an opportunity to do so? How is it that we can make the barrier to entry even easier? And so, I do think that images and video and some of the very lightweight things that we can do are sort of potential answers. But I'd also like to think about what are the other ways in which people do the capturing, and how can we make it easier for them to share that captured learning. I am thinking about the people who still prefer to take their notes on paper. I am thinking about the people who still do have Word documents that they open up and keep their notes, or start to plan lessons out in a Word doc. But essentially, they're either paper-based or hard drive-based, so not cloud-based captured learning. And how do you get someone to either take a picture of the notebook that has their notes, or to share that Word doc with all of their notes and ideas? And I think that there's really sort of an important opportunity for us to consider the real sort of network value of captured and shared learning. And one thing that I really applaud one of our colleagues for doing, and actually both Brandon Peterson and Jessica Raleigh do a great job of this, is providing multiple entry points for a particular activity. So we did a activity with the teacher effectiveness coaches who are in Project Cam Opener this year, where they were sort of telling their story of the year and encouraged them to do so creatively and then share it on a Padlet. And so some people shared their Word doc, some people shared an image of the thing that they had done. Some people, took a picture of the clay that they had made to help tell their story. Just really interesting and pretty creative opportunities to capture and share their story or their learning. And I think that idea of, all right, so how do we provide those multiple entry points so that it isn't, you have to have a Twitter account in order to do this, or you have to have a, you have to be in a Google Doc that's the only way you can take notes. It's the only way that will work for you to capture and share your learning. And so even though we're encouraging people to share on a common hashtag, DEPLA16, for sharing about the learning event that is upcoming, it is important that we also consider the other ways in which people can share. And how can we better support the Word docs and the paper-based notes and the sticky notes and just helping people to capture their learning. And so one of the things that I keep on coming back to is, can we help people to tell their own story by saying, hey, can I take a picture of what it is that you are doing, or can I help you to post this? And I actually think that there's a really strong need for essentially documentarians for professional learning. So even if teachers and leaders who are participating are not telling their own story, or are not able to sort of come to the table with the ability to take an image and post it on Twitter, that there are other folks, whether they are students, whether they are other school and district leaders, that are helping to document the practices and the shifting mindsets and the ideas, that there is a role there of being a documentarian, of being someone who is capturing the learning for others, who is sharing the learning on behalf of the participants, but also with the consent of the participants, and asking, how can I best tell the story of the learning that is happening right now, right? And providing many different opportunities for that learning to be captured and shared. So with that in mind, I'd encourage all of us to be documentarians of learning if we are not doing the learning ourselves. If we are authentically engaged, capture and share your own learning. But if you are not authentically engaged in the learning process, all you would really need to do is capture what's going on around you. If you have thoughts about that, please do leave them in the comments below, or if you'd like me to answer a question on my walk to work, please do use the hashtag AskBenW. And I hope you have a great day of learning.